Hi, welcome to The Pursuit of Truth. I was just catching up on some videos on YouTube. I was watching Sheeps and Neeps Dez's video from it might have been this morning actually, or last night, I'm not sure exactly when it came out. He's going to a palliative care hospital and hopefully that will help with the pain that he's going through. I can't imagine what it's like to go through that, but he's in good spirits, and hopefully they will help the pain, and this will enable him to continue. I'll put his support link in the description of this video when I put it on YouTube. If you want to support Sheeps and Neeps Dez with his fight against cancer with alternative means, then you can find those details on, I think on one of the videos I put it in the link. I'll try to put it on the Anchor FM link as well, so I'll go through to the other casts. If you can't find it on there and you want to, then you can find it on my YouTube video, or even better, you can find it on Dez's actual YouTube channel, and you can find out all the information. That's Sheeps and Neeps. There's two of them, so make sure you get the right one. It'll be the one with all the videos, and they'll have the support link there. And the video I was watching was Jamie Brown's video, where he was talking about cult mentality and doubting the flat Earth. And the only thing I know Jamie's been disillusioned since the meetups that he was doing, that not many people turned up. So I know it sort of started from then, and I know he's always been an open person, questioning things by playing devil's advocate and that kind of thing. And I feel a bit weird talking about someone, because it's up to that person to talk about whatever. But I was interested in the subject that he was talking about, the idea of how cult mentality and how we get persuaded by things, and obviously when someone else is doubting, it makes you question as well, and it's always important to make sure that you are on the right track. And my only concern was that I know that Jamie has done he's done at least a few tests for himself, isn't it, by going places and seeing what he could see. And he was using that as a way that we should all be doing that. And yeah, I do agree, and I know Dell talks about that as well, that we should be doing these things to prove to ourselves, rather than just relying on what other people say. But then I was thinking about that whole thing of how do we come by information in the first place. And that's an argument a lot of people use, that you got it from YouTube, as if because that's where I got it from YouTube, from listening to other people's videos, and it made me question things and made me sort of look at things and think about stuff. But then again, if I look back on where did Globe come from? Well, that came from listening to other people. I didn't fly up into space. I'm not a scientist or a physicist. So I got it from people as well. So that argument of getting it from people, well, that's how humans convey information to one another, through books. That's people writing down the words on books. A teacher at school is who taught me how to speak English, along with my parents, who taught me history, geography, maths, English. So that was a person standing in front of me. Now, I guess the quantifying thing that people say, well, that person's educated. Well, wait a minute. Well, you're saying the people on YouTube aren't educated? Yeah, of course they're educated. Everyone's educated to a certain degree. And it doesn't always need education to see tangible things, is it? But I understand where people come on that kind of argument, but it just interested me in that you know, if, like Jamie was saying, that you need to do these observations to prove it to yourself. And the only thing is that there's only a certain amount you can do, unless you know sort of other things as well. You know, if you know bits about maths and how your eyes work and you know, science stuff and things like that. You know, not all of us are going to be that. You know, like me, I sometimes worry about, like I've mentioned previous on these podcasts, that you know, I'm not great at science, I don't know all these things. That doesn't mean necessarily I'm wrong in my views, it just means maybe I wouldn't be able to prove them to the same degree as someone who does know these things. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have these thoughts, because all of us are individuals, and all of us, you know, have been put on this planet, as it were, to observe it and to live it. I mean, so if you've done these tests and then you've come away with these things, you know, like Jamie was saying that you should do these things, and he has done those things, but now he's changed his mind, so I'm not sure, you know, how do you then prove it to yourself? I mean, the problem is maybe, like, you know, you can, other people, the problem is, and I think it relates to the last podcast I was talking about, that there's always a counter argument, and as long as there's always a counter argument, there's always a bit of doubt, because you can, like he was saying, that you can, you know, maybe there's a reason for things and this, that and the other, and someone can come up with a reason, and the problem is whether those reasons are valid or not, and how do you test those things? You know, just because someone says, you know, there's refraction or there's, you know, whatever, you know, you have to be able to prove them. Some of these things is difficult to prove, like, you know, my example that I gave to him to testing out bendy water, as it were, would be, I assume the only way currently, other than our eyes, is if you had a camera that's not GoPro and doesn't have a fisheye lens, and you know, flew up far enough, assuming that the camera doesn't have the same limitations as our eyes, and looking down over the sea, and then you should see that curve, considering that the Earth, you know, it does curve all the time, isn't it? So we should be seeing it, no? And the thing is, you know, like I previously mentioned, you can go on YouTube and you can find that footage. It's not usually over the sea, though. It's a shame they don't do it over the sea, but I guess that's because it's difficult to get a drone or a camera out into sea. No one's doing that. It's usually over land. So, but you know, you can get fisheye lens views and you can get non-fisheye lens views. But then, you know, as long as you know about the different lenses and what effects they have, then you should be able to, I mean, that is that not proof then? Because, I mean, if the Earth was round at the 8 mile, you know, it's supposed to be every 8 miles, I think it's round all the time, but even if you want to go by that calculation, then surely if you fly up high enough, I don't know how far these drones can go, and you see it's flat, then, well, then unless you're going to go across the Earth's bigger than they say, well, then it's still a lie then, isn't it? But I guess it's one of those things that it's difficult for us to prove. The only thing is, like with the water, we do know like the dynamics of water and how water works. I don't know, it's just, I understand his frustrations. I've had them as well. It is difficult to sometimes prove things, and then, of course, if someone else is, you know, like there's loads of people always questioning, you know, things, and always coming up with an answer for something. I think the problem is the real problem, like I mentioned previously, is the fact that human beings cannot be truthful all the time. They don't take things too seriously, in the sense that if we lived where humans could not lie, then we wouldn't need to worry about this, because we know that whatever someone says, we can trust that and it's truthful. But the problem is we know we live in a world of lies, and that's what makes us doubt. And then, of course, it's, you know, if you get 10 people in a room, all 10 people can tell you different things, and then you don't know which one's true. You only got to go to a court of law and have you see that. People will murder other people and then claim they didn't do it. So we know even our politicians lie to us, and then when they get found out, they apologise. And celebrities as well, same as human beings. So the problem is because human beings are, our problem, whether it's taught or whether it's inherent, is that we do lie, and we do, keep things away from people for various reasons, money and power and stuff like that. That's what makes it difficult to then, for us to be able to, as individuals, know what's true or not, because we don't know who we can trust. Well, I suppose then, as X-Files said, trust no one. But then by doing that, you limit yourself to what you can know or not. Well, I suppose the only other way is then you try and discern, you try to look at things, you try to weigh the pros and cons, and then leave yourself in the middle so that, until you get further proof that you don't know really what it is. The problem is it's unlikely that all of us are going to be able to fly up into space and look down. So what do we do then? Will we die ignorant either way? It's unfortunate really that humans are like this, and it leads people to doubt, and it leads people to not really knowing and wasting our time over the same question over and over again by lots of different people over lots of time, because we can't trust one another. And we really need to sort that out so that we can progress ourselves. Otherwise, I think we're always causing ourselves that problem. Anyway, that's enough for me. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.